Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another live lunch with KUDZUKIAN. We have lunch today.
Yeah, I was expecting a little turkey.
Chicken is close, you know.
It's in the bird family.
Yeah, it's in the family. It's in the family. So we're gonna let some people come into the live.
So while people are coming into the live, let me ask you this: What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for glasses because right now I'm working with one contact on my right eye.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Wait a minute, now you got what?
One contact, but you know I'm grateful. But in all seriousness, I am extremely grateful for life. I am grateful for that God has given me the ability to get a do-over. You know, each day that I wake up, and so I get to do it over and live out His will and purpose and plan for my life. And I'm extremely grateful for my family, my loved ones, my team, and my coworkers here at KUDZUKIAN. I'm grateful for you, Larry. I'm grateful for the leader that I have in Larry Robinson. He pushes me. Before that, we were just arguing, and he said, "You know what? You have a bright future in this."
You made me sound like the Godfather or somebody.
You have a bright future. Okay. So I'm grateful for you, Larry. I'm grateful for you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to throw it back at you. What are you grateful for?
Man, you know, I'm grateful for so much. But I'm going to start, you know, after you go with God and for the team and everybody else, family, I mean, I'm really grateful for this team that we've assembled here at KUDZUKIAN. You know, I think about where we started. You know, we started in a apartment, you know, and literally have grown and been blessed to be able to build a business that I think is very respectable.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for the professionals that we've pulled together and that we've made it to another, you know, Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah.
That all is important. The boys are doing well. My sons are doing well at school, and then the oldest one is in Cincinnati doing his thing, and then we got just a great group. I mean, and my wife, she holds her brother down. You know, we have some great clients. I mean, we have some phenomenal clients that I'm very happy and grateful to have, and hopefully, you know, 2024 will allow us to even have greater clients and more clients, but for right now, extremely grateful for what we have, and I'm also grateful for you. And the reason I'm grateful for this young lady sitting next to me is because I've seen her growth, and she's really become the manager of all that we do at KUDZUKIAN on many levels, specifically the podcast club, but you know, she's, you know, our operations lead. So she's really helped to galvanize the team and direct the team, especially on the production side, and add more information and details to a lot of the work we do. So grateful that you're a part of us, and looking forward to all that 2024 is going to bring us, and the remainder of 2023.
2023. I love it. Don't get all mushy on me, all right? All right?
All right, so a live lunch. Well,
so, live lunch.
Let me dip my fry in some baked beans. And,
so as you know, if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the comment section. We are live on YouTube. I'm looking now. We are live on Facebook. We are live on LinkedIn. So any questions that you may have, definitely share them with us, and we'll be sure to address them. And also share this with all of your friends, your family on those social media platforms. Share them out so that they can get the knowledge and questions. So we had somebody say, "What are you eating?" Well, we can't necessarily name drop the company, you know, unless they sponsor,
unless
right?
They sponsor. If they sponsor, we can do it. But until that time, we go name it.
We go name. So we got some chicken. We got some French fries and some veggie beans on our plate. And
Veggie beans?
Veggie beans.
Okay.
Veggie beans.
Now, I thought we was going to have a big turkey leg. You know,
No. You're going to get that tomorrow, Larry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you're going to get it tomorrow.
Okay.
So let's hop into what we're talking about today.
All right.
And so last week we left off on our 5-step creative process. And so now what we want to talk about is planning and structure of your podcast, and then we'll also move into collaboration with guests and things like that. And so, Larry, you're more experienced in this area, as well as a few of our team members. We have producers and stuff that probably talk more to this, and I'm sure in the future we'll have them on to kind of elaborate on a few of these topics. But let's start from the top. So whenever I'm planning and creating that structure for my podcast, I need to research a topic.
Yeah. So
right?
are we speaking from the perspective of once we're in production or in the production phase? Or are we still in the development phase?
Development.
So we're in development phase. So when we talk about planning, we definitely want to talk about what our conversations are going to be about.
Okay.
Like today, we talked about, prior to coming on camera, we talked about the structure, how we were going to go, the role that Misty plays. You know, Misty is going to be the person that is your constant here. I probably won't be. We will have different team members. But, you know, through this early part, I'm probably the most experienced out of everybody. So, you know, I think it's important for me to make sure that I help to coach along. So I look at myself as the old head. So, you know, I've been in this game of podcasting since 2014. So, you know, we coming up on our 10th year.
Yeah,
so we gotta get a celebration going on around here. But first, okay, let's go back to researching topics.
So I guess I can just throw a topic out there, right? So food.
Food, okay.
Food.
All right.
So let's say if I want to talk about food and the, I guess, effects that it has on culture.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right? So what does researching that topic entail?
Okay, so researching that topic can entail many things. But first and foremost, the simple is Google.
Okay.
You know, really understanding your topic and saying, okay, we're going to talk about food and culture. Let's make sure and put that into Google, and we're going to research it.
Okay.
We also can research via YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube is important because YouTube has become one of the popular search engines. But we also can look at Facebook and look at different groups, so on and so forth, and see the impact of food and culture.
Okay.
So taking that as first thing is just really making sure that we do and get the basic information. Now, in many cases, we do have a producer or a researcher that works at KUDZUKIAN that we utilize to go and dig deep so that we can compile that information for the producer, or the producer compiles it and then passes it on to the host of the show or the hosts of the show, and in some cases, the guest of the show. So that is what we would do as far as researching a topic.
That's good. And so I guess the next step would be outlining your episodes. And I guess I can that's essentially what we're doing now, right? And so we've laid it out. We have bullet points for us to touch on and hit on, main discussion points, conclusion, introduction. And so that's pretty much what outlining your episode would be.
So absolutely. And when you outline in your episode, you're thinking about your pre-production. So say we're in episode 5. We've been doing the podcast.
Okay.
Before you get on camera, before you start recording, you want to lay out what you want to talk about, because once you start talking, it's real hard to keep that list in your mind.
That's true.
So you want to actually have it in front of you, as you can see right here. You know, literally, I have everything we're going to talk about right here, so that we can truly stay on point and get the information out. Because the worst thing is when you finish a show and you say, "Dadgummit, I meant to say that. I meant to do this." And what outlining the show prevents that.
Yeah.
It prevents you from missing those points that are very salient points that you definitely want to discuss in your show. So some people like a script. So outlining the show could become a script. And then the next thing is other people like bullet points, just kind of triggers, and to let you know, okay, we definitely got to mention that during this segment, so on and so forth. Typically for a half-hour show, which is really about 20 something minutes, 26 minutes in content, you want to have maybe 2 to 3 breaks. Now, some people don't want any breaks, but ultimately we do what we call radio ready podcasts, so that if there's an opportunity for us to service our content to broadcast options, they want the ability to put in commercials. Then also we do commercial inserts at the KUDZUKIAN side as well. So having those breaks allow you to have those commercials, or places for those commercials to be inserted without it interrupting. You've heard shows, and this is how you can tell that a show wasn't done necessarily in a professional way. When they're in the middle of a comment and it goes to commercial, all of a sudden you get some kind of commercial in the middle of a comment. That says that they didn't plan it. They didn't plan that show out well, and they didn't follow a structure, Not saying it's bad. It's just kind of annoying, especially if you're hanging on that word that they're about to share. So once again, you gotta plan that show out, plan your segments of the show if you're going to have segments, and then be planning on how you're going to talk during those segments. You want to build out that segment so you have good insight during that segment.
So what are the purpose for, we kind of talked about it, breaks, what are the purpose for breaks? Why would a person build out a break? Well, what happens in that time? Well,
breaks typically allow you to communicate certain information. So say you're a company and you're building a podcast, you got a podcast and you're doing it for your business, and you're a counseling business. You want to make sure and have a break in there so that if you got some initiative coming up, you have something that you want to insert into the show that allows you to, grow your business. Like I have a sale going on where, it's Black Friday. I'm giving 15% off all consultations, that type of thing. You don't want to interrupt the conversation that's taking place in order to put that information in there. What you want to do is have a break so that you go to that commercial break, and then that commercial break allows you to insert that information and share that with your audience. Or if you have a sponsor, you want to make sure and have that break there so that the sponsor can insert their messaging, so that once again, it doesn't interrupt the flow of the show. It's actually building a space for you to communicate that outside information.
That's good. That's really, really helpful. All right, so let's talk about what would you episode length? How long should my podcast be?
Well, for a podcast, there's no predetermined length that it should be.
Okay.
I mean, good content is good content. And so when you have good content, you want to make sure that you allow for that person, or you allow for that content to be great all the way through. So you may have a true crime show that people are really, really into. And that might be a 2-hour show. That literally might be a 2-hour show. However, when we do information around certain like heavy topics, news topics, things like that, we say a good rule of thumb is about a half hour.
Okay.
Now, if it's good entertainment topics, then once again, you could probably go a little bit longer. Like our sports show. Now, it's got several breaks built in, but we ultimately know that it's an hour show. We're going to do about 46 to 48 minutes of content, and then you have your breaks in there. So that's when, you definitely have that information to share. And so when you talk about length, you want to go with the length in mind.
Okay.
Our rule of thumb, as I said, is to make sure that we have, when it's a news heavy type of show or information heavy show, we try to keep it to about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But other forms of entertainment, I would say from comedy to storytelling to, documentary or audio documentary style, you can go longer.
Okay.
You can go longer. So there's no set rule, but for certain things, I'd say that listener fatigue kind of can set in and people might not get back to it. So also short is good. So being that it's a podcast, you might want to do a 10-minute segment. You might want to do a 15-minute show.
Okay.
And what that allows is for people to consume more episodes. So we used to do a show called 3BC.
Okay.
And that show 3BC, the episodes were less than 10 minutes on most cases. What that allowed is for, I was thinking about when people are going to the store, people making quick errand runs, they want to have something that they can listen to multiple episodes. So they might listen to one episode about one topic, but by the time they get to their destination and back home, they've listened to 5 or 6 episodes because they might be 8 minutes, they may be 10 minutes, they may be 5 minutes, or they may be as less as 3 minutes. It just depends. So once again,
it allows
with a podcast,
for more content.
Exactly, it allows you to discuss more things. And so you can always compile that information as well. You can compile it. So if you got smaller segments, you can also compile them to make a bigger show if, say, a radio station or somebody was very interested in broadcasting your product.
Okay, that's helpful. All right, so let's dive into guests and collaborating with guests. And when I'm looking for a guest, I know that it's important to diversify, get different perspectives from different people. So inviting guests with those different perspectives can be helpful to your podcast, right?
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on?
Well, if we're talking about a specific, so let's just go back to food and culture. I mean, some of the people you want to think about when you're doing your research are who some of those names are that you're coming across that's experts in that field. If you're tabbing yourself as an expert, you want to also have the ability to show that you have access to experts. So being able to have access to experts also shows that you are an expert and you are considered by your peers in this specific entity, in this specific area, to be a peer of another noted expert.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of associative power by who you have on your show. So we really take a lot of time in making sure that our guests are lined up with the topics that we're dealing with, or in the case of the sports show, R&R, I mean, who doesn't want to listen to a Jim Brown? Who doesn't want to listen to Dr. J? So we know that we're going to talk to them about certain things, but for the most part, we don't have to do as much once we have those big names on the show. And those are going to be names that also bring people to the show.
Okay.
So that's what
one of the things that I remember us talking about, I can't remember if it was the last episode or before, and I think it was the one that I was on by myself, and just kind of letting the audience know that if you don't know where to start with somebody that you may have a relationship with.
Absolutely.
But surely there gets to a point where you want to kind of look for those bigger name artists. And so how would I do that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of services out there, that's like, I want to be a podcast guest, or I need a podcast guest. If you Google like podcast guests and things like that, you will ultimately be able to find people that are kind of higher in the food chain as far as in the topic you got, but also you can bring them into the show, and then they also have their contact information. We have a few people that are really focused on our booking, and that's important with something as big as ours, because we might have 20 something shows in on the network at a time. So once again, we got to have somebody who's dedicated to pulling in those guests, but working with their PR agencies, working with newspaper. You may read a newspaper article and want that person as a guest. Reach out to the reporter. The reporter has access typically to that person. Once again, their PR agency, their media contact, their communications lead of their company. All those entities are important. Also, you can just talk to your friends. Hey, I am looking for a person that does this. Just being able to talk amongst your friends, they have access. And a lot of times, a friend of mine is a friend of yours. So I'm willing to pick up the phone and say, hey, my friend has a podcast and they'd like to interview you. Oh, you need some information? Get your little one-sheeter together that talks about what your show is about. Be able to shoot that out. You're going to need that one-sheeter. You're going to need that on just being able to book people and have those bullet points on email that you can shoot somebody quickly so that you can secure some guests.
Yeah.
So that's important.
That is important. So basically, take advantage of your resources, the people who are around you, and just developing and cultivating those relationships.
Absolutely.
That's pretty important. And I think that's kind of a way we got here. If we're starting from the beginning of where KUDZUKIAN was you have a relationship with people.
Absolutely.
You talk to people, you networked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's been something that I've found easily. And I've worked, and so it made sense for me to have a start with a sports show because I've worked with sports and worked with artists and all those things for so long. And then I had a really good client who was in New York. And so I was able to utilize that relationship to consistently bring on other guests. So once we did that, once I had those relationships, whether it was through a reporter, whether it was through another former ball player or a ball player, they opened up doors for me to be able to bring in those guests. So once again, those relationships are extremely important, and everybody has them. So use those relationships when you're thinking about your guests and bringing on your guests.
Yeah, and be bold. You know, be bold.
What does it say? Favor.
You got it.
Favor.
Just ask. Just go after it.
No. Fortune favors the bold. I'm sorry.
You know, you and these sayings.
Yeah, fortune favors the bold.
What? You should probably at the end of each episode we do.
Okay.
Larry's parting statement or something like that.
Well, the parting statement for today will be fortune favors the bold. So be bold, be brave, go out there and make it happen. Once again, my other statement is what? Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect, baby. You got to get out there and get it done first. And once you get it done, you're straight, and then you can work on perfection. But first and foremost, you got to get it done. You got to execute.
Yeah, and start. And start. You said just start. That kind of stuck with me.
Just start.
It's the simple things. It's the little things.
Stick with me, kid. I got you.
Listen, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know.
Is it over?
Know it's over. I know.
Wait. Hold up now. Wait a minute. It's over?
Yeah, because we got to let them go so they can start now and be bold and, yeah. we can't hold them too long, Larry. They got to start.
Well, listen, let me say this to you. Happy Thanksgiving. And you have a phenomenal turkey day with your people. And what's her name? Miss Evelyn Lemons?
Mama Lemon,
Mama Lemon, okay.
Oh, hey,
goodness. Mama, we want to say happy Thanksgiving to you.
Hey, Mama.
And all of your family. Yeah. I want to say hi to the folks back in my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes.
I'm going to be in Memphis for Thanksgiving.
Folks. Oh, sorry. Somebody looking forward to the next episode. When is the next episode? I think we're changing something a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
right?
we are. We're moving it to Tuesdays. We're moving to Tuesdays because the producer is got some stuff that she's got to do on Wednesdays. So we're going to make sure and move this to Tuesday. So coming back. So what is that going to be? The 20 what?
It's 8th?
Somewhere around there.
7th?
It's either 7th or the 8th. But Tuesday of next week, we're going to have live lunch.
Yes.
And we're going to be back. We might have some leftovers.
Leftovers? No.
That'd be some old leftovers.
Yeah. We'll probably be eating salads and stuff around in time, cleaning our systems out. Does KUDZUKIAN do any other types of production? I'm sorry, we said we was going to let y'all go, but the questions are coming in. Sorry.
Okay.
Does KUDZUKIAN do any other types of production? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Event production.
We do event production. We do especially the large event productions. We work with video walls and all those kind of things. And then we help to record those productions. Like, so say you got a big event, you got a big conference, and you need lights, cameras, you need sound, all of that stuff. Well, you can come to KUDZUKIAN, one place, and we can provide all that for you. including, the confidence monitor. So when your people are on the stage and they're talking, they can have information right in front of them that the people in the audience won't be able to see, but the people on the stage. We do all those little things to make sure that the events are on point. We bring in video walls, when you see all the moving graphics and stuff like that behind people, we do that. We do a lot of stuff. We do a lot of stuff. But we also produce commercials. We do a lot of commercials. So check out the new General Motors Cadillac commercials with MC Light. Produced that. Oops.
Come on.
We produced that here.
I'm so sorry.
Produced that here. Sorry about that, folks. I forgot that the mic was here. But we produced that. We did the one with Big Boy from Outkast. We did that. We did a big national ad for AARP. So we do that kind of production as well. Then we do some educational stuff. So we might do an education series. We did a educational series for a client that was in the education arena, education sector. Yeah. We did a training series for them. We've done a few training series.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
So we do a lot. We do a lot of different stuff.
We do. So that's what we do. And they ask, can you create content for my event? Of course.
We do reels.
We do all of it.
We do reels. We do videos, recap videos. I mean, we're pretty much one-stop shop for the folks that need our assistance in trying to put on either an event or, they're just trying to create a podcast, or maybe they're creating a documentary. We've done that. We do documentaries as well. So we do quite a bit of stuff on there. Check out our website. It's KUDZUKIAN.com or KUDZUKIAN Media Group, which is our nonprofit, .org. So KUDZUKIAN, KUDZUKIAN.com or KUDZUKIAN Media Group. And that's KUDZUKIAN and then mediagroup.org.
And you can also reach out to me directly via email, Misty, M-I-S-T-Y, @KUDZUKIAN. And any questions that you may have, I'll be sure to answer them all. I don't want to hold y'all too long because I know a lot of y'all are preparing to spend time with your family. You're probably in the kitchen, trying to grocery shop, whatever you're doing.
I want some good collard greens. You got some collard greens?
Yeah, my mama.
Oh, yeah?
Mama.
Hook your boy out with some greens. We got greens, beans, tomatoes.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Enjoy your holiday with your family, and we will see y'all next week. Bye.